Physiographic provinces, that's also in this unit. Well, Virginia has 5 different physiographic provinces, which I'll talk about real quick. And they do show up on the SOL, so you got to know it, because it's a Virginia SOL test. So you know they're going to ask questions about Virginia. It's just going to happen. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the coastal plain. The coastal plain is right along the beach, right along the coast. That's why they call it the coastal plain. And if you were to drive from Richmond or Chesterfield County to the coast, what you would probably see is sand, sedimentary rocks, because sand is mostly sedimentary. Well, all sedimentary. Unless you had heat and pressure, then it becomes metamorphic, but we're not going to that. Anyways, so you would see sand, and it gets flatter. The more you go towards the east, the more you go towards the coastline, the flatter it gets. And that's going to be part of the coastal plain. Also, you're going to see more wetlands. Think about it. You're going towards the beach, so you're going to see more water. That's something else that's really common with SOL questions in coastal plain. So flat, mostly sedimentary rocks, and something else you're going to see seashells and some seashell fossils. That's kind of common type of knowledge too. Next, Piedmont. Piedmont, it's where we are in Chesterfield County, or most of us in Chesterfield County. Looking around, in my house I don't see mountains, but even looking outside, I don't see mountains either. So it's kind of rolling hills. It's not really flat, but it's not really mountainous. So Piedmont's kind of rolling hills, mostly kind of igneous rocks around here, that granite, that Petersburg granite that you see in the mines along 95 and stuff. Not too much to it. Next is the Blue Ridge. This is where the mountains start. So think about, like, let's see here, UVA area, places like that. That's the Blue Ridge, or the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's mountainous. Not too many questions they can ask about it. Not too many questions I'll ask about it on my test. The next section, there are lots of questions you can ask. That's the Ridge and Valley. Ridge and Valley Province is where you have karst topography, which that you should have learned about in the weathering and erosion unit, and a little bit in rocks. Also, you're going to have numerous fossils, and a common term or common phrase that shows up on the SOLs with this unit is folded, faulted mountains, because the mountains there, they're folded, the rock layers are folded, and they're faulted, which means they're all broken up. Which means at one point, Virginia had lots of earthquakes. If you've lived around here for a couple of years, you know every now and then, like every 5 or 6 years, you might have a little shake. That's it. But we're talking about, like back during the time of the dinosaurs and before, massive earthquakes. We're talking like colossal earthquakes. But they don't move anymore. There's no pressure to move them. Every now and then the ground settles, and that causes a little minor earthquake. Nothing big. No big deal. But like I said, the Ridge and Valley Province, that does show up a lot on the SOLs, and it's the location of where you would find Radford University. And Virginia Tech, that's in the Ridge and Valley Province. That's or Valley and Ridge, however you want to say it. I think both ways it shows up on the SOLs. That area, southwestern Virginia. And lastly, you're going to have the Appalachian Plateau. And that's in the kind of the way farther southwestern tip corner area edge of the state. And this is where you have a lot of coal. That's Virginia's biggest economic export is coal. Now, something kind of interesting, most of the coal, if you see coal trains, if they're full, they're going which direction? Tick-tock, tick-tock. They're going east. Why? Because most of the coal that's in Virginia actually is exported. They export it to the coastal plain. So all those big coal trains, if you see them, they're full of coal, they're going east, 9 times out of 10. Well, there's no coal in the eastern part, so they have to be going towards the east. So, and they're probably going overseas, places like China, Brazil, some of these other countries that don't have that much coal, that use lots of it, they buy it from us. So we export most of the rocks, which is coal, that we export actually goes to other countries. Kind of crazy, but it happens. And some of it's used at other power plants like Dutch Gap, which is in Chester and all around. So if you ever see a coal car that has no coal in it, more likely it's going west back to the Appalachian Plateau to get more coal, or even in West Virginia to get more coal. So that's a little bit about the provinces of Virginia. And yeah, not too much to it, but you'll definitely see a question about that and probably about some of the information I just asked on your SOL test and on the test that you're about to take.